Coming to you from the trenches of blue-collar America, the place where the wheels of America are kept turning and turning. It's the Blue Collar Success Network, hosted by blue-collar business coach, author, and speaker, Jerry Eisenhower, with CVC Coaching. Take it away, Jerry.
Hey, and thanks for joining me again. This is Jerry Eisenhower with CVC Coaching talking to you today. And hey, I got a message for you today. You ever made a mistake in business? You know, we're human beings. We all make mistakes. Well, see, when you make a mistake, there's a lot of things you got to do. But the first thing is a customer calls and they got a problem. Something you didn't meet what they wanted. They didn't get their expectations. At this point, it's critical of what do you do next. As human beings, we have a natural tendency to fight or flee. This is in our minds. We can't help it. We were born with this. And it's human nature that the very first thing that happens when somebody says that you did something wrong is you're going to go on the defense. Or you may even go on the attack. That's why it's called fight or flee. Well, see, either one of those is a mistake. You're now making the second mistake. What you got to do is swallow real big and take ownership of that mistake. And I'm going to tell you something. This is going to be tough because, you know, the customer ain't always right. We all know this. But here's the bad side of it. Unless you take ownership of this mistake at this point, I will guarantee you that this mistake is now going to spiral upwards and go out of control. It's going to happen because the human nature of the person that's calling you is they just want an answer. They want relief. Now, maybe it's justified. Maybe it isn't what they're complaining about. But what you've got to do at this point, and this is critical, you got to understand this person has a problem. And the very first thing you've got to do, no matter what it is you got to agree with them they have a problem. By simply agreeing that, yes, you have a problem, and the next words out of your mouth is saying, we understand. What's going to happen at this point by doing this key thought is it's going to take a wall down and it's going to open up communication. You see, communication is a two-way street. And this is the hardest thing for human beings to do is one side of the communication. It's real easy to speak, but good gosh, it is so hard to simply listen. And at this point, this is what you got to do. You got to stop. Say, I understand. I agree. You got a problem. And at this point, the most critical thing to do is just shut up and listen. Let them talk. Now, you also got to gauge what your tone of your speech is. You can't get into a more higher tone pitch. You can't get into a combative mood. All these things are not going to do anything whatsoever to resolve the issue. You got to stop and you got to listen. And again, this is going to be tough. You're going to have to really exercise some self-control to make this happen. Because see, what you got to do here is, and someone within the company has to do this, someone has to take ownership of this problem. You want to listen, and by listening, finding out what does this customer want you to do. Many times, all this customer wants is someone to understand and listen. That's all they're really looking for. They're looking for someone that understands that they have a problem. They want to share with you their problem. And you know something? You owe them a big debt of gratitude at this point. And you're probably thinking, why in the world do I owe this PIA, pain in the ass customer, a debt of gratitude? Well, you see, in this day and time, we've got this thing called the internet. And all this customer's got to do more damage to you than you can imagine, is simply get on Google, get on Angie's List, get on Yelp, or any of the number of reviews out there. Or maybe they go on your Facebook page or whatever. They have given you a gift. The gift they have given you is the ability to stop this problem today before it goes any further. Because see, this is also the nature of human beings. The average human being has to have the last word. The average human being cannot sit there and not put in the last word in a discussion. They have to do it. They just can't listen to other people. So what you got to do is put this together. Listen to what the problem is. And this is the bad thing, we all do make mistakes. Maybe they are justified. Maybe this is the best service tech you got on your crew. But he's a human being. He could have had a bad day. He could have made a mistake. He could have done something wrong. Let's face it, we all make mistakes in life. So what we want to do is remember, this customer has given us an opportunity. We owe them a debt of gratitude. And we need to thank them during this conversation for bringing this to our attention. Listen to them and finding out, what do we need to do to resolve this customer's issue? It's real simple. Just take the ownership and let's move on past this. Again, maybe it's justified, maybe it's not, but we're in the world of customer service. And and people love to tell other people things that are wrong, much more than they love to tell them things that are right. And you can't afford in this day and time to have a customer that's out here upset. But let's say you did make a mistake. How did the mistake occur? Because here's what you want to do. When you fix a mistake, you want to make it your ongoing policy. You want to make it your process that this will be the last time that you'll ever have to fix this mistake. This is where it goes back. Words that I've used for years with clients and in articles and in books is you've got to act and you've got to react. Now, what does react mean? React means we have a customer with a problem. We have to take care of this problem. It's not going to go away. It will simmer. It can come back and boil over years later. You could be quoting a really big job down the road somewhere for this person's next door neighbor. You may sell the job. And then you get a call later, well, we're going to hold off on this. They may say, hey, we don't have the money. They may say any number of things. But deep down inside, what happened was they may have talked to somebody that you upset years ago, and it comes back to haunt you at a later point. So what we got to do is drill down. Every time there's a mistake, we got to go back. In every single mistake, something happened. Something happened. Think to yourself, how many times do you make a purchase, a buying decision, that something is wrong? And you know yourself that once one little thing goes wrong, all of a sudden everything seems to go wrong. Go to a restaurant. The hostess is not the most polite. She doesn't seat you where you really want to be. She's not that friendly. Whatever. You know something? I'm going to bet you your meal's bad. Have sit down at the nicest restaurants, and the server's not coming in a timely manner. The meal is going to go downhill. Think of your own experiences as a customer. What is it over the years that has lowered your thoughts of someone you've done business with because they didn't meet your expectations? You work hard for your money. Your customer does too. And that's what customers today want. They're not all looking for the lowest price. We like to think that, but they're really not. The average customer is looking for somebody that can do the job, do it well, deliver value, be timely, be here when you say you're going to be here, get done when you say you're going to be here. The property looks better when you left than it was when you showed up. These are the expectations your customer has. They don't know how to ask you that. When the customer calls, they don't know how to ask you all those things. They don't know how to ask you, are you a really good person? Are you a good company to deal with? Are you someone that if I do business with, that later on I'm going to look back and this was a great experience for me? Or am I going to look back later and think, hey, it wasn't the greatest experience? And see, this all goes down to that principle we've talked about many times, which is building the enthused customer, because this has got to be the forefront of what you do. You, your team members, everyone else, you've got to be committed that every single day that you go out and do things, that you're going to build your core group of enthused customers. And what is an enthused customer? That's a customer that is satisfied. That's number one. But like my friend and coach Jeffrey Gittimer said, satisfied customers are worthless. You're looking for loyal customers, the customer that's going to do business with you over and over and over again. But is that what you really want? You want to go to the next step, and that's what we call the enthused customer. Because the enthused customer, they're satisfied, they're loyal, but then they do the greatest thing in the world. They tell everybody they meet, you got to try my guy. You got to try my guy. So that's our thought process for today here at the Blue Collar Success Network. We wanted to share with you because, hey, you may just have, I know it doesn't happen to you, but it just may happen that you have a dissatisfied customer for long, and they're calling you. And I'm hopeful that my words will ring in your ears, that when this person calls, instead of going on the attack, instead of fleeing from the problem, that you stand up, take the ownership for it, and from that point you move forward. And guess what? What's going to happen is you're going to build up this group of enthused customers that are going to sell you. And you know what the last step in this is? You're going to have what we call market ownership. You're going to have all the business that you can handle, all the business that you want to supply the business that you've set up to run. And that, my friends, is why you started in business. Your business exists for one reason, and the reason that business exists is to give you the things in life that you truly want. With that, go forth, be prosperous. Go forth, build enthused customers. This is Jerry Eisenhower, CVC Coaching and the Blue Collar Success Network. I really appreciate the honor and the privilege you listen to me today, and I hope my words will help you be successful and go and reach your dreams in this world. Have a great week. Talk to you next time.
Thanks for joining us here at the Blue Collar Success Network, sponsored by CVC Coaching and hosted each week by coach, speaker, and author Jerry Eisenhower. For more information on the services provided by Jerry and CVC Coaching, look them up at cvccoaching.com. Our mission here at Blue Collar Success Network is to help blue-collar pros like you turn your business dreams into your business realities. Let's talk.